On this episode of the Do Better Sis podcast, hosts Charli, Kay, and Phoenix discuss both personal and familial relationships. We ask the burning question, is marriage still practical? And we discuss protecting oneself during a long-term relationship. Listen, I need to warn you now that the drinks were free-flowing, so we cut up a lot in this episode, but we ask that you bear with us as we try to pull it all together so it makes sense. Grab your girls, grab your wine, and get ready for the third episode of the Do Better Sis podcast.
Welcome to Do Better Sis, where we let you know if your weave is too tight or your eyebrows are just not quite right. Where we strive to inspire, encourage, uplift, educate, and motivate our sisters. Join us, Charli, Kay, and Phoenix, as we bring discussions on things such as health, building wealth, improving credit, investing, entertainment, and fashion in a language that you can understand. We spotlight what's going on in our communities and how we all can participate. Come and find out how you can do better, sis.
Are you ready?
Ambrosia for Heads and The Source. I played both of his albums, even though he only got two. I played both of them for his birthday, and it made me remember, he had some really good hits, and so I did.
It wasn't
that.
3 albums. You sure wasn't 3?
Well,
I mean, not just him. We got to give a shout out to damn Craig Mack too now.
Oh, Craig Mack, rest in peace. He put Bad Boy. He really did put Bad Boy.
He did
on the map.
I think he was.
Before that, Andre Harrell was actually trying to take the label from him when Craig Mack's "Flavor in Your Ear" came out, and that kind of cemented it. So rest in peace to Craig Mack.
I think Craig Mack was the first one that did his sign to Bad Boys.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I really was listening to some stuff, and I was just like, man, Biggie really gave us some good hits. He just didn't give us as many as Tupac did, but he gave us some hits. So shout outs to Biggie, shout outs, rest in peace to Craig.
But wait. I'm gonna have to disagree with what you just said. I like more Biggie songs than I like a Tupac song, which is crazy. But wait a minute, you know what the issue is? But you know what the issue is?
Stop.
Tupac had a bunch of features. I didn't want to hear Daz and Corrupt. I didn't want to hear everybody in Death Row to get in. I wanted to hear Tupac. If it would have been more songs with just Tupac by himself,
there was quite a few though.
Every time I listen to a damn Tupac record, it is Tupac featuring 1, 2, 20, 25, 2011 people from Death Row. I didn't want to hear all of that.
Wait. I got to go back some.
Compilation.
Did you say
yes
that you would rather listen to
Biggie
than Pop?
Absolutely.
I mean, but
Absolutely.
Some people feel that way. I'm not mad at them. All I say is Tupac got like 250 songs.
And out of those 250, only 20 of them was solo.
I disagree. If you go back to, I'm telling you, if you go back to the
now, wait a minute, but the fact that you're taking me seriously about the 20,
it's not 20. It's not.
Okay,
20.
okay. I know it's more than that.
But I still don't take away anything from the greatest. And speaking of, we talking about Biggie and everything. He was known for his music.
Wait a minute, but I will say Tupac was ahead of his time. I will say Tupac was ahead of his time.
A lot of the content he dealt with.
Absolutely.
But he not now. I won't say that Tupac was ahead of his time. I think that because if you look at it, Tupac, if you think about his mother, he wasn't ahead of his time. He was with his time. I just think that for that time period of Tupac, people were just not listening that deeply.
I'll take that.
Because what he was talking about was what people like his mom was talking about from years
back
prior.
in the 70s.
Yeah, so he wasn't ahead of his time. It's just that I think that his message just became so diluted within hip hop. Because when you look at what was going on with hip hop and all the
record deals that wasn't really record deals,
right? The message just got lost.
I'll take that.
So
I'm saying Tupac saved my life. He really did. I was on the long road. It was real hard. He saved my life. But then I kind of like fast forward. Like I heard Tupac in like 90, maybe 2. Fast forward to Ready to Die that came out like around 94, maybe. And it was all right, but I had already been listening to pop for 92 years. Since 92. So I was like, it sound all right. I want to see what else he got to say. It's like 3 tracks on the Ready to Die album that I really, really like. And I was like, ooh, I like those. And I had to remind myself of those this week. And then, with the movies and the TV show, I don't know if y'all been watching the
Unsolved. It's actually pretty good.
With Bokeem Washington and Josh Duhamel. I don't know. I haven't. I've been recording them, but I just haven't had time to watch them.
It's really good.
But he had a really, really. And I'm saying we're not talking about Pop. Pop's not to June, honey. But we're talking about Biggie. He had a really tumultuous relationship between the business, the woman that he thought was the image of the perception of what he thought being successful was going to be, and then the actual woman that I really believe, to me, my personal opinion, that he was actually in love with, which was Lil' Kim. And there's a lot of interviews about them, Kim, them being on tour, Kim going on and having to wear shades because they didn't got in fights, and like he put his hands on her and she would stay with him. So in that particular, I guess that kind of segues into our tonight's topic about relationships, love. Are these institutions still valid? Do men still value women? You know what I'm saying? Just because you prefer women, do you really love women? So it's kind of going to take us into what we're really talking about tonight and the topics that we're raising questions on.
Man, this is going to be a good one right here. Oh my gosh.
So shout outs.
That's interesting. I mean, I know this is not a discussion about Tupac and his loves, but I don't think it was Lil' Kim that he was in love with when you look at his. No,
we're talking about Biggie. We're talking about Biggie.
Well, Biggie is different.
Married Faith.
Yeah.
He was,
married.
Yeah,
I think he was in love with
really
Kim.
So
I agree with that. I thought you said
really
Tupac.
That.
But yeah, I definitely believe that Biggie was in love with Lil' Kim.
Absolutely.
I think he found a kindred spirit there. But then you find your kindred. So this is the scenario.
To kindred spirits.
You're rich. You're famous. You got all this access to all the stuff you ever wanted because you came from nothing. And then you're a 2-year-old person, male or female, and you see this person that has the polish, that can kind of fit in wherever you're trying to go, wherever you're trying to take your career. But then you have this other individual who comes from the same place you come from, don't care, about what anybody else feels about where they come from. And you find this person and y'all have so much in common, but then you bump heads because you the same person. You know what I'm saying? You done came from the same place, you done dealt with some of the same issues. It doesn't matter that you're the same gender, different genders, but you find one another and you're like, wait, this is what I love. This is exciting. We have chemistry, but in the background, this is what my money, my contracts, my agents, my handlers, my sponsors, my whoever is pulling the strings in the background. This is the image, the perception, the image you're putting forth that says, hey, this is what you need to be successful. I see it as a resource, I see it as a tool, but is it really? But that's still not, it's not making me happy. It's not what I really want to go home to.
But even still, when you look at Biggie and you look at Lil Kim, you look at Faith. I mean, you know, I understand when it comes down to relationships. Sometimes the person that knows you the most is the person that you want to steer more clear of,
right?
Because they know everything about you,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't put on certain personas and feel comfortable, you know, doing this whole fake thing,
right?
Because this person is watching you, knowing that this is not real. So
right.
if you value their opinion of you, it's going to make you feel some kind of way. But when it comes to, you know, the individual, or this individual is going to be more acceptable than the other one. I mean, hell, in my opinion, which I am a Faith Evans fan, I don't think either one of them fit a certain mold that was more acceptable than the other. Because when you look at Lil Kim and Faith, I mean, I think that a lot of us had you know, pretty much fallen in love with Lil Kim. And when Faith came on the scene, I mean, Faith was kind of rough around the edges when we first saw her. I mean, hell, you look at Faith hair, you look at all of that. I mean, the makeup and stuff. Dress. It's like, look, you can tell. Look, she was probably hungry at the time. Lil Kim had pretty much become established, and a lot of us were feeling Lil Kim. And here comes Faith. It wasn't that Faith would have been more acceptable than Lil Kim in Biggie's life. So I have never understood why he chose Faith over Kim, because from my understanding, Kim had made it perfectly clear that she loved him. I think one of the things I read about the whole Kim and Biggie thing was, you know, Kim had a kind of tomboyish type persona. You know, she was like one of the guys. So I don't know. So when it comes down to love, so it's a good thing that we're talking about this. When it comes down to love, you know,
what do you pick?
What do you choose? Yeah.
Or you are the thing that actually makes you grow. And it's interesting that you bring that up about Kim being, you know, a tomboy. Because I'm not all the female artists and MCs that came before Kim. Surely they laid the path. I'm not taking that away. But when Kim first came on the scene with Bad Boy and Biggie, she was one of the first women MCs that came out with flow like a dude. She didn't watch her language.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She called it how she saw it.
That's true.
You know, and she grabbed her crotch while she did it. And like her own panties. And we appreciate her for that. So then you have to kind of, you know, and you have to understand, you know, I understand she was trying to get her money. So part of it was part of the marketing package, how the label wanted her to be shown so that they can capitalize, you know, on the market.
She had sex appeal, and she had a rawness about her.
Exactly.
That was all hip hop. So
I'm still listening to fake ones and how many leaks.
Yeah, because you think about it. You think about all the hip hop, all the females in hip hop during that time. All of them kept themselves. They were dressed. They kept themselves covered. Mm-hmm. So here come Lil Kim. She can spit the rhymes better than a lot of them, or just as good as them, but yet still she brought that sexiness and that female, you know,
a little bit of skin.
A lot of skin.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I still try to do that little, you know, when she's kind of like bending down or whatever with her legs wide open. I'm like, yes,
no time to fake one. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
But like you said, and you know, we see that in the business, we see that in the videos and everything, and the lyrics. But then you kind of step back and you say, well, hey, even though, and like all the friends of friends and the people who knew them behind the scenes always said, you know, it's the first day that Biggie met Kim that there was chemistry. Like, you couldn't deny it.
Right. But wait a minute. Faith claims that it was the same situation between she and Biggie as well, which is why they ended up together the very next day.
Yeah, she did say that there was chemistry there. So it's interesting though when you look at, because you know what, that same thing is happening now. Because I'll say now, because when you see When you talk to your girlfriends, or if it's a woman that you know that's going through something with a male, it's interesting because you see two opposites. Like you may see the good girl persona on one side, and then you see that bad girl or ghetto chick on the other end, and it's that chick, uses that chick that's just raunchy or ghetto or in your face, being disrespectful, is that chick that can hold on to that dude.
Jesus, yes.
So
Yes.
it's like, so that's always been my question, is like, okay, what is it about that girl that the men tend to go for? They go for that bad girl. Like, they always talk about women go for the bad boy, but a lot of men they do the same thing. They go for the bad girl.
And I often wonder if it's just like you were saying, earlier. I wonder if it's with this bad girl, she's gonna hold me accountable. With this bad girl, she's gonna give it to me, and she's gonna be like, "No, this is who you are. You're gonna be with me 100%." You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be you.
That's true.
You can't fake with me, or I'm gonna call your ass out. So I don't know if it's that, or if it's the fact that they really like for somebody to cuss them out every now and again.
It could be, because if you think about it, men are supposed to be these predators. They want that challenge. That bad girl's going to challenge them. No, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. Oh, if I catch you this place, it's going down. But the good girl is like, I'm hurt. I'm upset.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. How can you do this to me?
But you know what? I'm gonna take this in a different direction. And I saw an article posted somewhere. I don't know if it was on my personal Facebook or the other Facebook, but they were talking about toxic male masculinity. So that's
a mouthful.
That only works. Now and not to say that your theory doesn't work, but that only works on the premise that all men are this masculine, predatory, caveman, prehistoric, type of animal that just works in a certain specific way. But then, and some men do work that way. It depends on the guy. It depends on his life experience. Possibly
seems to be like a lot of men work
what
on
year he was born.
That way.
But as a person that dabbles in the BDSM community, I have to say that particular stereotype and that perception of men, even though that's how women want to see men, that's how society wants men to be portrayed, is not necessarily how men in reality really are. There are some men who like women to be in control. There are some men who don't get your little, boxer shorts in the wide, fellas. But there are men who are submissive. Not to say that submissive equals weak or something.
But you just said
that.
The same thing we're talking about. I mean, you just said the same. You said the exact same thing we're talking about. Men who want to be put in check. Period. So no matter in what realm they're being put into check, the bottom line is somebody is checking them, and guess what? They're liking it. It's giving them that type of confrontational type thing. So even if it's you're talking about the BDSM, a fetish, guess what? They can be submissive to a woman who's in control. Wouldn't that be the same thing as a woman who could be like, nah, hell no, you're not doing this. Or if I catch you out there doing X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna check you on the spot because you are mine. It's the same thing.
But just because I'm a good girl doesn't mean I can't check you. It's just the method in which I check you.
But
right.
But the good women or the good girls who have to check, it takes a lot for you to check them. Versus the bad girl, she's ready at the go to check. To check. You see what I'm saying? So like a good girl, you can keep on. And when she breaks, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Right.
But like the bad girl, he might can clip his toenails and not even pick up the shavings off the floor, or he might put hot sauce on her food before he even tastes it, or he might not open up the door for her in the timely manner that she want him to. Any excuse will do
for her.
Any excuse will do. Versus the good girl. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe maybe he grew up with, everybody putting hot sauce on their food.
Thank you. Let me get the vacuum and get this up, or let me just go ahead and sweep this up, or he's just being a man. I mean, the good girl gives excuses as to why he's behaving that way. A bad girl's like, nah, Negro, there is no excuse.
Absolutely.
This is what you're not going to do.
Absolutely.
And men seem to be turned on by that.
They say get turned off and turn your mind on.
Seriously, and just a case in point, I had a guy that we've communicated back and forth for the past several years, and he posted something on Facebook the other night, and I was like, my response was, oh Jesus, because something he said was just, I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on with you? And so when he inboxed me, he was talking about the fact that this girl he had been involved with, and he was sexing her good, and his sex was good, and and he goes, he wanted to be in a relationship with her, but she did not want to be in a relationship. And then he found out that she was in a relationship with her best friend who was a female. So he was upset about that, because he's like, I've been there for her, I sex her the way she want to be sexed, and she's going to tell me she don't want a relationship, and then she tells me she's in a relationship with a whole woman. He was like, what's wrong with women? They're just fucked up. He said, this is not the first time this has happened. He's like, I've been having these relationships with these women where I go, they want me to come over and have sex with them, and then after the sex is done, they put me out. So I'm sitting there like, I said to him, I said, wow. I said, well, what kind of women are these? Because usually women are wanting the men to stay.
They're the ones.
They're not putting them out. But he's like, well, this is this new age woman.
Put them out. Adam 112, put his ass out.
So, and he was just so upset. He was like, I just want to be. He was like, I just want. Yes, he was. He's like, I just want to be in love. I said, so this has happened to you multiple times? So my question, this was my thing. He said that his sex was good, and he was putting it down. So I asked the question. I said, now I'm not trying to insult you, but I'm just wondering if your sex was as good as you say it was. Then no. If your sex was so good, then why did she look? She didn't want to be in a relationship with you. She done put you out.
I don't want to
look, she done put you out the house. She done put you at the house.
No.
And then she done left you for a whole woman.
And a whole woman. Throw the whole man away. Throw the whole damn man away. He is out of there.
But here's the thing. And with men like that, okay? With men like that, especially if this has happened to him, not once, but multiple times.
Your sex is not that good, but you need to do a real reality check.
Okay, wait a minute. And yes, he does need to do a reality check, but there are multiple things that are wrong with him. Okay, so we're gonna start with the obvious.
Okay.
Clearly, he has to be suffocating them. Okay, he has a false sense of what it is they want. Okay, so what he's doing, all right, the roles at this point have reversed. Okay, so he's going in with, oh, I want to be in a relationship, oh baby. He's probably suffocating the hell out of her, and she was like, you know what? Let me just go get this good peen. Let me go ahead and get this good money. Let him cook and do whatever it is he need to do. And while he's doing that, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to exercise my options. Now, I don't think that he is having a conversation up front with them and saying, listen, I am interested in you because I would like to get to know you. And in turn, I would like to have a relationship with you. I'm pretty sure if he has those conversations up front, the women that he's dealing with will tell him to go to hell.
Or he would learn it very quickly or way in advance where he stands and what's going on.
Okay. Not only that, I think that as a woman, most women don't want a man to appear needy and clingy.
Okay.
So if you are clinging on to me, I don't care how good your penis is, but if look at here, if you are like smother me in the bed, you all over me, guess what? Get up off of me, nigga.
Or he may be old Maxwell type dude. He might cry after sex. I mean, you know,
and that's a turn on. That's a turn on. I'm sorry. That is a turn on.
You gonna say so?
Wait, stop. Look. Can we go for a pause for a minute and let me say this, men?
Oh my God!
If you cry after sex,
don't do that. That's toxic masculinity, though, Phoenix. This is exactly what we talk about.
If you cry after sex, look, don't even let us put you out. Go ahead and put yourself out.
Put yourself out.
Just put your clothes on outside my door. On the other side of my door is where you should put your clothes and your shoes on, brother. It's been trill. I appreciate the good peen, but it is time for you to go. I appreciate your service. Thank you. Do not come again.
Y'all is savage. But again,
it's true though.
But again, all of this depends on both parties, the perceptions of both parties. If the young lady is looking for a relationship and the young man is looking for a relationship and they happen to find one another at the club after several shots of Jose Cuervo, that has been known to happen. Okay? And then they decide, the sex ain't that bad. He ain't, too ugly. He alright. He ain't like Cambodian or nothing. And we gonna see what happens. He real sensitive. He caring. He seems to be very communicative and expressive and all that stuff. We gonna try to make this thing work. That is not to say that this thing doesn't work. Now, for a person like it depends on your personality. So for a young lady, me being the only queer person or queer host on this show, let me say that. The queer host on this show, one of them.
The only one.
Okay, I'm just trying to, on the side of the cars out. I don't know
the only one.
And both of y'all say that at the same time. Damn y'all. Okay, so it's me.
But wait a minute.
Queer.
Don't get me wrong, okay? Do not get me wrong. I love the family. I love the children. I love the kids. I am an ally straight up and down all day, every day. Yeah. Okay, so I don't want nobody to take that
the wrong way.
Yeah,
don't
take that the wrong way.
Please don't.
I've attended parades and shows, all kinds of stuff.
I'm not giving any receipts, although I have receipts, but don't come for me.
I give hands more than I give receipts. Do you want these hands?
But wait a minute. Before you continue, okay? Before you continue, because I felt like we was gonna have to pull out the violins just now.
No.
So, but listen. What you said, okay, makes perfect sense in a perfect world. However, let me tell you how this went down.
Okay.
He never communicated the fact that he wanted a relationship with none female.
True.
With none of them females. Okay?
Happens.
Because if he did, he wouldn't be so butthurt right now. He wouldn't have his feelings hurt. And if he communicated with her from jump, his intentions.
I want to have a relationship. I want to be in a long-term
he would
relationship.
have then found out that he was just being used for the peen. And two, she really ain't even want it. She was just biding her time.
But see, that's the thing. That is the thing. Even if he told her he wanted a relationship, if a woman tells you
that's one
that she's really not ready for a relationship,
take her word.
Guess what? Believe her.
Take her
Not
word.
only should you believe her. If you want a relationship, you need to go ahead and exit that situation.
Stage left.
Because, more times than not, a woman wants a relationship. So if a woman tells you straight up, she does not want a relationship with you, it's not to say she does not want a relationship.
Period.
She just does not desire one
with you.
Sir,
it is you. It is not her. It is you.
So at that point, if a woman tells you that she does not want a relationship with you, go ahead and, as I think Kay just said, I don't know, Charli may have said, exit stage left. Because that means that you just do not have a chance.
Right. Bow.
It's done with you.
Bow out gracefully.
It's not going to happen.
Bow
She's
gracefully.
Enjoying what y'all are doing. she's enjoying you getting her off, and giving her what she needs at the time. But she does not want to. She does not want to set any roots with you. Okay,
But
so that's what it boils down to.
But you know what? Now this is me. This is how I feel. Now I do not. Again, being the only, it's been clarified, verified, stamp is on it. The only queer host of this show here.
But some of us do like to play.
That wasn't me. That was not me. But anyway, so
y'all got my head hurt tonight. Oh God, y'all got my head hurt.
Myself,
that was Phoenix.
It depends with me. It depends on. Now, I've always labeled myself as a switch.
Oh my God.
But even though I'm a switch, I give just as much.
Kay, can you define switch for those?
I sure was gonna ask.
I was sure was gonna ask.
I'm sorry.
What a switch is.
I sure was gonna ask.
Hi, my BDSM family. I'm very much a switch. I don't mind giving up control, but in exchange, not in exchange, but in some instances, there has to be a time when I have the control. So I don't mind being your bottom bitch, but just know that in exchange for me being your bottom bitch, one day you gonna be called on to be my bottom bitch. And
okay, so that's what a switch is.
A switch does both.
Okay.
Top and bottom.
Okay,
Makes
so audience, y'all understand what a switch is.
Does both.
Because I was
bottom.
a little confused myself.
Male or female, it doesn't matter who I'm with.
Switch.
I don't mind bottoming, but I also like the top. And that's
House Party.
That's the switch. That's the switch. So, to me, like when I'm with women, I look for different characteristics. If I'm trying to, if in my mind I'm like, you know what, I want to date a woman, or I find a woman attractive. I want
women.
I don't mind putting my stuff out there. I'm cool with that.
Women.
If I'm with a woman and I find a woman attractive, or if I'm with a dude and I find a dude attractive, I will cop to there being separate, I guess, things that I find attractive in the different sexes, in the individual sexes. However, if I'm with you, then I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? If you pass whatever gender you are, whatever I'm feeling like, and you pass the criteria in my mind that I have for what I'm going through at the time, then I don't have a problem with, being submissive, being nice, being the soft, the good girl.
So
but
can
I
I ask
also
you
have a bad girl then.
Let me ask you a question with you saying that, because maybe you're in a position to answer this question.
Okay.
So do you think that a woman who is in a position to clearly articulate her needs to a male or female, I mean, is that woman in a position of being what you call a top or a bottom, or is just a woman who is just empowered?
You know what? That is a really good question, and honestly, it depends. My opinion, it depends on what the young lady is articulating that she needs. If she's in a, and I'm telling you, I after my last relationship with the woman, I found myself in that particular relationship playing the top role very often. I paid all the bills. There were some other things like in the sex life that she didn't like or she wouldn't do that I had to do all the time. I just found myself playing that, I guess, characteristics
of a masculine
role. And so, and I didn't mind it because that's what she seemed to like, and that's how the relationship just seemed to go. But after a while, after like year 4, 3, 4, 5, I think I was with her for like about 5 years. After it just got, I was in a position where I was just like, you know what, I'm tired of doing this. I've been doing this for 4.5, 5 years. I understand what you needed at the time when we met. Now, fast forward 4 or 5 years, we're in a different situation. Your situation is different financially and, you know, relationship wise. I need some stuff from you now.
So, and I'm trying to tie all of this together because the characteristics that you're describing, I guess in that scenario, it would be more that she was a bottom, maybe? Is that considered a bottom? So when you compare that to a male-female relationship, then that female is more, the male is more of the dominant, plays more of the dominant role in that relationship. So that male, or in your case, you were the one that basically
made those decisions,
set the standards for the relationship. So when we talk about a woman who exerts her power in a relationship, who decides that, you know what, I don't want a relationship, or I don't want
this type of
relationship, is she considered a top, as you describe, or a masculine, or a bottom, or is it just that she's just a woman who's just who just expresses what she needs? Because we talk about bad girl, good girl, and we try to, because I'm trying to put all this together. So is the bad girl the top girl, and the good girl is the bottom girl? I mean,
actually,
so
I disagree.
No, I'm not saying either or. I'm just trying to put it all. I'm just trying to put it all together.
I'm like, realistically,
are you following me, Charli? Because Charlie's quiet.
But you know what? I think idealistically,
because I don't want everybody to get lost in this entire conversation
and terminology
and what we're talking about. I'm just trying to put it all together.
But wait a minute, let me put a disclaimer on it. We should have said this from the beginning. The Moscato and the Crown Apple is flowing freely.
And I need a glass of ice, girl.
So that's probably why it may take a minute
to bring it together.
And
that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring it together so that people understand. Because the bottom line is, we're talking about relationships and the role that each of us play in a relationship, and what, especially when it comes down to what men prefer, or what men chase, or what men consider to be.
I don't think men do any chasing right now.
But here's the thing. Wait. Let me go back.
Okay.
Let me go back. Okay.
Go ahead,
to your question, Phoenix, about, you know, top, bottom, or empowered. I think she's empowered because at any given point, she has the freedom to say, I don't want to be the top this time. I want to be the bottom, and then vice versa. So I'm going to say that hooker's empowered. Now, back to you, what you just said about men chasing. I don't even think men know what they want at this point, okay? And I say that from asking my male friends, hey, what are you looking for in a woman? What do you look for in a mate? What do you look for in a wife? Because these are real life conversations that we have to have with our male friends. But wait a minute. And this is why we're telling these women they got to do better, sis. Because I have a really good friend, bless his heart, a really good friend of about 20 years. And he, oh my gosh, it dates the craziest women who are not on his level mentally,
but they do
financially.
That on purpose,
but wait a minute, but you can't do that and then turn around and complain to me all day, every day
about how jacked up all women are.
But not only about but not about how jacked up all women are. How jacked up this lady is that you chose.
Absolutely.
So I will not give you a pass about your decisions. You chose this chick.
No at any time. You could have used your safe word at any time, sir. Pineapples.
Clearly he forgot.
I said pineapple 6 times. Trying to get out of here.
Clearly he forgot what the safe word is. But that's my thing. You have to be clear on what it is you want. You have to be clear on your intentions. Now, granted, I do understand that intentions do change, you know, after you get over that whole star power type thing and you get to know the real person. I do understand. You might go in and be like, you know what?
After she take that lace frontal off.
And them lashes.
really like? Are you really into her? Like,
I mean, look, after he done took a shit at your house, you might turn around and change. How you feel about him?
She haven't been using. She been using Elmer's glue to put her frontals on, and now she don't have no edges. Are you still in love with her?
But you know what I'm saying?
That's a great point that you're making about knowing what you want, because men are out here saying what they want,
but what they want, what they say they want is not what they want.
When you look at what they have and what they say they want,
it's contradictory.
It's very contradictory.
But here's the thing.
Women too, though.
But here's the thing. They tell you what they want because they think it sounds good.
Absolutely.
And they feel like if they're talking to their homegirl or they're talking to their sister or their mother or whatever.
I just want a good girl.
You know what I'm saying? I want a girl who's loyal.
Books in the Bible and Leviticus and Revelation. But then I look at your Facebook page and you got a bunch of brides from the Blue Fame down there in Atlanta and all these other strip clubs that have fishnet everything on. They don't know now book in the Bible. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't understand it.
But
I just completely lost my train of thought. I completely lost my train of thought.
But you know what?
Out there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Let's not talk about camel toe. I hate talking about camel toe. Oh my God. Camel toe is my kryptonite. Do not talk about camel toe with me.
Obviously, the good word was not one of your criteria. Okay.
So that's a awesome point. Okay.
But you know what? But you know what? We have to flip it. Okay, we have to flip it, because at this point, our listeners are women. Okay, and we have to speak directly to our sisters and say, what exactly do you want from a male? What do you want in a relationship?
To do like a live.
But wait a minute, and we can
do it, Charli. Do
and
it. Go
we can.
ahead.
But here's the thing.
I know where you're going. But go ahead.
We have to first understand what we bring to the table, and I think after every relationship, we need to sit down and we need to take a breather. Okay,
yes.
We don't need to jump from peen to peen to peen and from relationship and house to house to house. We need to take a breather and we need to sit back and we need to be able to get in tune with ourselves and to reintroduce ourselves to ourselves. But wait a minute. Not only that, we also have to evaluate what we did and what happened and what part we played in the demise of the previous situation. Because nobody is ever innocent when shit falls apart. Okay?
It takes two.
Okay? So here's the thing. You first have to know who you are. Not who your friends think you are, not who your mother thinks you are, not who the people at the church house think you are.
You are none of those people that your friends and your mother think you are.
Thank you.
You a whole different type of person.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
Know who you are. That's one. That's one. Two, know what it is you realistically can bring to the table. If you can bring the table and the food to the table, you bad. But if all you can do is bring the food, that's cool, because at least y'all can eat on that table that man is about to bring. Wait a minute. That's two, because I got more. I got a list. I got a list. Three, you also have to know what you will not put up with.
What you're not going to.
And you have to have a list of things that are non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
You have to have hard limits and hard stops. That is always part of a BDSM negotiation.
Okay,
process.
Y'all don't pay Kate no attention at this point.
Right, with the BDSM. Okay.
So
but it's the same thing.
Go ahead with
non-negotiable.
They don't have to be physical stops, but they
I'm gonna say that again. Number 3 is you have to have a list of your non-negotiables, and you do not need to sway on those things. If you don't like a man who smokes weed, do not get with the man that smokes weed.
It's real simple.
If you don't like an alcoholic because your father was an alcoholic, damn it, you do not give your phone number out.
Alcohol.
Okay?
So someone you see out,
Come on now.
drinking a beer
At the bar.
at the bar.
If
H2O
you say you don't want a man that has more than 2 kids, or a man that's been married, or a man who has hammer toe, or a man who has no health insurance, or a man who doesn't know the difference between a 401k and an IRA,
That's what I was gonna say. An IRA.
or a man who earns minimum wage, or a man who earns a salary. These are things that you have to ask yourself. You can't just be going out looking at these men and be like, oh girl, he got a bed, he my boyfriend. Oh, wait a minute. Oh girl, he look good in his gray sweatpants. Now wait a minute, some of them do look good in their gray sweatpants. I'm not gonna take that away from them.
Gray
But
sweatpants and a
I
fresh
see you
white
on
tee.
Facebook in gray sweatpants with no underwear, and I can see the print in the front of your pants, brother. I'm taking you off the list. You have been X'd out.
But I am going to appreciate
Absolutely.
I didn't say
You
I
may
wasn't
not-
gonna look.
you may
I'm
not
just
be my
saying
man.
You're not gonna get my number.
You may not be my man,
I'm
but
be
I'm
like,
gonna be
ooh, look
looking.
at that.
But
Bye.
and I think that's
No.
think it, and y'all may not like this because this is going to be unpopular opinion, okay? But I don't give a damn. It needs to be said. Here's the thing: we give men too many chances to fuck up.
Say that one more time. That's a word
For the
right
people
there.
in the back.
You just made my my arm.
As women, give men too many chances, too many opportunities to fuck up.
You know, this is the thing that's interesting about that.
I give them
though,
icy hot in their boxer shorts.
Charlie.
and they
This
don't
is
know.
the thing that's interesting about that because I've been seeing a lot of discourse concerning how black women, in particularly, interact with black men, and the fact that we tend to be so difficult. We are so difficult to deal with. And I wish that black men would take the opportunity to just listen to us and actually take a look at what we are seeing. So when Charlie talks about, the non-negotiables, men need to see that, hey, this is a woman who does not want certain things in her life.
She has standards.
So if she chooses not to deal with a man who has more than 2 children, then you have to respect that. That's something she does not want in her environment. If she doesn't want to deal with multiple children for whatever reason, and that needs to be respected.
Absolutely.
Not something that, black women don't support black men. No, there are some black women who just do not want to be a stepmother to multiple children.
Right.
So that needs to be respected. It's not that, we're not for the black man. No, we're not for a particular subset of black men. Some black women are not just for that. Now I can tell you that me, as a, I am one who, I don't prefer to deal with a man who has, just a damn bandwagon of children. I just don't. I mean, I have one child, and I don't want to deal with a man who has just they bring the red wagon full of kids. I just don't want. That's not something I want to deal with, because I have to look at the fact that, okay, if you have 2 or 3 children, I'm gonna have to help you with these children. If I'm gonna have to help you with buying clothing, I'm gonna have to help you with whatever they need, whatever entertainment they have to go through. That's expensive. That's money come out of my pocket. So if I choose not, to want to deal with that, that's my choice. It does not mean I don't support you as a black man, because I fully support you, and black women support black men. But I say all of this to say, respect our choices. It's not that we don't respect you or we don't honor you. It's just that, you've done some fuck shit. You've gotten caught up. But that's something that you have to deal with. I may not want to deal with it, but guess what? There may be another woman out there who does not have a problem with it. Simple as that. Go for her, not me.
And this is kind of off topic, but my aunt told me several years ago, and I chuckled when she said it to me, but now that I'm out here dating again, it makes so much sense. She said, Charlie, when you find a man that is interested in you, you look at how he treats his mother. Thank you. And you look at how he interacts with his family. With everybody in his family. She said, you make sure that you go to a family event, be it a dinner, a reunion, a funeral. She said, you listen, you sit back and you observe. Don't you say shit. You hush him out and you sit back and you observe how he communicates with his father. You can sit back and communicate and watch how his father communicates with his mother, if his father's in the household. You also sit back and if he has children, listen to how he talks about his children's mother, or if he is, divorced. Sit back and listen at how he talks about women in his life.
Yes.
She said that will then give you insight on if this dude is a stand-up dude, and give you insight on actually how he's going to talk to you and talk about you when you're not in the room.
Absolutely. You know what? That's a great point. That's an excellent point. This guy that I know, he got married, and one of the things he said was, the thing about it is, I wish I had interacted with her friends. Mm-hmm. I wish I had, brought her around my friends, because my friends had never met her until after I married her. He said, but she had never been around my family. So those are things I wish I had done prior to marrying her. But because she turned to be this person that I didn't know. Right. I didn't know who she was after I married her. But, one of the things that's important is that our friends are able to counsel us. Absolutely. Because they're checking them out. They're seeing this person through eyes that are basically objective. Because,
they're not interested in
exactly. So they're watching. They're listening to things that she talk. Exactly. Your family's going to be watching. See how she interact with your family and her family. What do people say when they talk about her? So that's important. But we're seeing that in this day and age, people are so they're in a rush to be in a relationship.
They want to be in love. Like they want to be attached to somebody.
Yes, when the dude told me, he said, "I just want to be in love." I said, "Well, you don't want to get to know a person.
You don't want to do the work that it takes."
There you go. That's it. That's it.
I mean, how can you say? First of all, you have to identify what love is. Can you define what love is?
Come on.
Because
that's a good question.
How can you say you want to be in love? What is love to you? Because if you don't know what love is and you just walking around saying, I just want to be in love, what is that? What is that? You're not taking the time to know this person. You're not spending time with them. You're not going to cookouts with them.
Hanging out with their family. Do you know their mother? Do you know their father? The relationship.
Do you even know they got their last name?
Oh, middle name. Any of that. That's a good idea.
I mean, because I heard people talk about
his
people.
name Red. that is not on his birth certificate, girl. His mama did not name him. Let me tell you something, ladies. Sis. They mama did not name them no Red or no Black
or Man
or little JJ. None of that. That's not on their birth certificate.
But you know what?
That's so true.
But you know what? And to bring it back, you need to have a list of questions that you ask. And you may get some flack about it, but if they give you flack, they're not the one. You need to have a list of questions that you ask. And on those lists of questions, you need to ask about religious preferences. Yep. You need to ask about financial habits.
Definitely.
You need to talk about education.
All the time.
You need to talk about
health.
Come on now.
What is your credit score?
Listen, I was coming. Look, and
Charli.
Wait a minute. But wait a minute. I don't want your Vantage score. I want your real score. So you can keep that Credit Karma. I want your real score. Okay. Thank you. I need to know. This is gonna sound crazy, but I need to know your hygiene habits. I need to know if you shower once a day or come on now.
Ashe. I have to say Ashe on that.
I have so many questions.
Do you have
I need to know. Wait a minute.
athlete's foots?
Look, I need to know if you dry your feet off first or if you dry your body off before you dry your feet, because that's very important. And if y'all don't understand that, you might want to go do some research. Okay? I need to know if you can cook. I need to know if you know what a dividend is. I need to know if you have a 401k. I need to know what you plan on doing in 5 months, 5 years. I need to know if you've invested in your 401k. I need to know if you know. Wait a minute. can you change a tire?
Oh, hello! I can do that.
Look
Bruh,
here, my
I
thing
change
is,
the tire. I'm
and
a
look,
professional at this.
my thing is this.
I'm a professional at changing
Can
the
you
tire.
take
bruh.
the goddamn trash out?
Wait a minute.
Not can you
Wait.
sit down.
I mean, can you
trash
do
out?
that?
Can you
Let's do
that's
simple
one
shit.
easy.
Can you empty the
That's
trash?
easy.
Because a lot of y'all will not empty the trash. You'll put trash on top of the trash and say it's not full.
Wait a minute.
And then ask me to cook your ass a goddamn egg. I'm not doing that shit.
Listen,
Did you take out the trash?
I need to know what your
Yeah.
relationship is with your mother.
Yes,
I need to
that
know
is
what
very
about your
important.
mother that you don't
Or your
like and what you
sisters,
do
your
like.
baby mama, whatever. it
I
is.
need to know if you can cook a proper meal. And I'm talking no hamburger helper. I'm not talking about an egg
Nothing
sandwich, a
in it.
bologna sandwich with a slit in it.
Talking
You know, the
about
bubble.
Meat, 2 vegetables, and a starch.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey,
And if
okay.
I'm sick,
And a
can you
good
wash my
beverage.
behind and
Listen.
be okay with that?
I don't got to hear your
I mean,
mouth.
thank
fussing.
you.
Oh,
And
you
not only
sick?
that-
You need to get better because I'm tired of doing this. Don't nobody want to hear that shit.
Look, and my thing is this. When you take a week off from work, are we doing a staycation or are we doing a vacation?
Amen.
I need to know all of that.
Well,
Can
there's
we
nothing
afford?
wrong with both of them.
Look, I want to know
There's
that.
nothing
I
wrong
want to
with
know that we have the option.
Wait a minute. There you go. It's nothing wrong with being on a vacation, but we can't do a vacation every week you're off.
No,
We need to
a
switch it up.
staycation. We can't always just stay home.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
I need to know what your definition of courting is. I
That's
need to
a
know
good
what your
question.
definition of
That's a good
love
question.
is. I
Amen.
need to know what you consider. I need to know if you're affectionate. I need to know.
I'm very affectionate.
But here's the
I have a
thing.
problem with
I'm
some
not.
People who are not.
But see, that's the thing. I'm not, and I think
very
that goes back to your upbringing. I didn't grow up in an affectionate household. You know what I'm saying? So I think if I'm with somebody now that requires me to be affectionate, I have a problem because I don't know what it looks like.
Well,
You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
that comes down to expectations as well.
These are
Because
questions you gotta ask.
These are things you want to ask because if
Especially if it's
if
important
you're
to you.
touchy feely and you want to be held
Mm-hmm.
because that's how you relate to
Or transfer your love.
yeah,
that's how you
that's
express
right.
your love and
So
communicate it.
if that's how you expect someone to show their expression of love, then that needs to be stated and that needs to be understood. But I think that you can pretty much tell that even from the beginning, because I'm a
Not
hugger.
necessarily.
I'm a hugger, so I'm affectionate.
I'm
So
very affectionate.
if we're going out on a date, guess what? First of all, when we see each other,
I'ma
my
hug
expectation
you.
is to hug you.
I'm gonna kiss you
When
on
we
the cheek,
we
maybe.
part, when we part, guess what I'm gonna do? I want to
Hug.
hug you.
I had a
Well,
good
listen.
time.
Now, Charlie.
Listen.
Now, Charlie.
Don't do it.
And I might
Don't do it.
do it a little bit when
Don't
you
do it.
walk out.
So- but you know what?
You know what? Stop right there. So Charlie said, "Don't do it." So if a man wants to date Charlie and he goes in to hug her and she steps back, guess what? That is what is called a sign.
Of
Okay,
rejection.
it's not. It's not. It's not rejection.
You're not saying that you're rejecting
not
it,
rejection.
But you're just saying I'm uncomfortable in this area, and the other person who feels comfortable, then they kind of.
I think that
It
will
just
require a
jars the-
conversation.
It definitely does.
You know, at that point, it's not that I'm rejecting you because the guy may be saying, well, wait a minute. She's sending all these vibes and she's feeling me and she likes me, but then I went in for a hug, she backed up. So
Listen.
guess what? That's your time to say, hey, Charlie,
What's wrong?
you know, I went to hug you and I noticed that you kind of flinched or you didn't want me to hug you. I mean, did I step out of line or did I did I come into your personal space? And that would be a time for Charlie to say, hey, I do like you and I'm feeling you, but I'm not the affectionate type.
And it's not just you, it's with everybody.
Right.
It's with everybody. I mean, I don't do the whole touching on the leg. I mean, just the friends or, I may tap you in the arm because we're laughing. But just in everyday conversation, I don't like touchy-feely people.
Yes, y'all.
Keep your damn hands off me.
Look, she's not the one that you go around and you rub on the back or
No.
you rub on her hair.
Stranger danger.
But you know what? I
Stranger
don't
danger.
Like that from I'm like that with strangers or people
But
that I don't.
No,
but I'm not like
saying
that
it's with.
everybody.
I'm saying that
And
it's with everybody.
And I say
Well,
that.
I mean, Charlie's like that with everyone. That's something I learned about her years ago. I learned about her. She's
Everybody.
not that type
Y'all
that wants to
listen.
be touched like that.
Listen, I was in a long-term relationship and did not because we didn't have the conversation. We didn't ask the questions. I did not know that this guy was as affectionate as he is. So here I am thinking, oh, everything gonna be all right. You know, he might be an after 10 before 6. And if you don't know what that is, I show it for you.
Google it. Google it.
You know,
10 before 6.
I didn't know, that he was affectionate. And again, I never asked the question. But then he come to me, oh, what's your love language? And I'm like, what the hell? I speak English. What you mean? But I took the quiz. And now I know what my love language is, and I know what I require. Now, if someone comes to me and say
quality time,
and I express my love for people through the things that I do for them. So acts of service. That's what I do. So if you are my friend, or if you know that I love you, I have done something for you. If I have never done a damn thing for you,
I don't like your ass.
You might want to lose my phone number, because me and you are not friends. I don't love you. I don't even like you. But
nobody like you. Your mama don't even like you.
And again, these are questions and conversations that you have to have, because when they come, like Phoenix say, I clam up, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is foreign. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Oh, or if I do hug you back, it's not comfortable for me. Therefore, it's not going to be comfortable for you. But again, that's how I was raised. Is it foreign for me to give affection now? I'm working on it, y'all. Listen, this is my testimony. I'm working on it. It's a long road, but if you find that that's somebody that you want to be with, you have to make some type of concessions. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Absolutely. Sometimes. But compromise. And if you see that this is something that this person needs from you, and you love this person, you know what I'm saying? And you love this person, then do it. But again, don't just come rubbing up on me. Don't die.
And that's something else. You do it if this is something that your significant other needs, but it's causing you so much discomfort.
It might not be the significant other.
That may not be your significant other, because I have seen that. I've seen where people have gone so far outside of their comfort zone that it caused them to be resentful of the other person.
And I've been there.
Creating other issues in the relationship.
I'm there right now.
I am one that I love to talk, and I love to communicate, and I am affectionate. So, I've been in a situation where the person did not like to talk about their feelings, which made me uncomfortable. Because
suspicious.
Yeah, and very suspicious.
And why I can talk about my feelings, why can't you?
Right, and so it caused problems in the relationship that really intensified, issues. When maybe it's just that they were not that type of person that talked about their feelings.
Right.
And I made them feel uncomfortable when I talked about mine, or tried to force them to talk about theirs. So, that's what we're talking about, relationships and the importance of communication. It's great that you can have chemistry, or you can have a physical attraction to someone,
or even topics and stuff that you like to do, hobbies that's
similar,
in common. Yeah,
right. But when it comes down to, can we make a go of this, and can we have a real relationship?
Ideology.
Thank you. Ideologies, all that stuff, values, morals and standards, all that stuff comes into play. And that's when you have the discussion about long term. And I think that we haven't really gotten into it, and maybe that may be a topic for a different time. But one of the things is, is marriage practical?
That is. I'm glad you called that out right there.
It's something that we do want to talk about, and it may not be in this episode, but it is something that is very important in this day and age, because we're seeing a lot of people that are refusing to get married.
I refuse
for numerous different reasons, and a lot of times it boils down to practicality.
Go ahead, Kay.
Now, this is just about me. Now, this is just my opinion.
Of course.
I'm not superseding anybody else's opinion on this, but I come from a family. I was born in the 1970s. I come from a family, both my parents were born in the 50s. My dad was born in 51, my mother was born in 54. My parents met possibly like in the early 60s. They met, they went to high school together. They were high school sweethearts. My dad drove a school bus when he was 15, 16 years old and going to high school. My dad he graduated high school early in the time where, black men and black people in a very rural, agriculturally driven economy was not really producing scholars. He graduated, he was the first person in his county to graduate at the age of 16 years old when he was supposed to be 17 when he graduated. So him and my mother known each other forever. They known each other for 50 years. They had been married for 40 years. Now, of course, my dad he's passed now. But until he passed away, him and my mother, they raised 3 children in the same parent home for 40 plus years. And they'd never been separated. We never, had any issues with not a broken, but a separated family unit. And now, fast forward, I'm almost 40, right? And to me, I think when marriage was first, black people, and I'm just gonna keep it real, right? Black people legally have not been able to get married since way before the Emancipation Proclamation was passed. We had to jump the broom. We had to, the owners didn't want to.
Right, there are other ways for black people to actually get married.
Unions and that
right,
type of
absolutely.
Thing. So, me being a product of a black family, black mother, black father, who'd known each other for 50 years, legally married for 40 years, I have a perception of the institution of marriage that if I can't have it for the 50, 65 years, I think the couple that I've known who's been married the longest, they've been married for 65, 67 years. If I can't have 67 years, I don't want it. And that's period. Because I've seen it work. I've seen the way 67 years, 50 years, 45, 47 years of marriage and actually till death do us part. I've seen that work and I've seen how it goes. Now, I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm not saying that the institution may not need some adjustments, including same-sex marriage and that type of thing, and the blended family, of course. But if I can't have the same thing that I've witnessed actually work for me or work in my immediate circles and with my family, I don't want your 2 years of marriage and then we hate each other forever. I don't want to be married for 6 months and then we on divorce court saying, hey, we've been together for 10 years. We were married for 6 months and now I want out because it's irreconcilable differences.
What you do is you do your homework. You answer those questions. You don't jump into a situation to where.
But you figure 18 years. You think you can be with this dude for 18 years. Now got 3 kids. All 3 of them is 17.
Here's the thing.
And we gonna get married because you know what?
Here's the thing.
She held me down. We done did all this. I done did all this. We gonna get together. We done been together for 17 years already. We get married and then 3 months into the marriage, it's not working. What do you mean? It worked for 17 years.
Well, this is the thing that you have to keep in mind though when you talk about during that time period and when couples came together, they came together with with the same goal in mind. Mm-hmm. We're trying to establish something. We're trying to build something. And together we can build something. We can establish a family as a unit. It's not just one person. As opposed to when you fast forward to now, you have people that they're doing okay by themselves. So when we talk about is marriage practical, Usually people came together, in as a unit for marriage. Marriage was seen as almost like a business. We coming together.
Exactly.
And we're going to build something. But in this day and age, people can see it as not being practical because I don't need you to live a good life.
There you go.
You don't need me to live a good life.
Mm-hmm.
We can live a good life independently of, one another.
Absolutely.
Or of marriage, and we're okay.
Absolutely.
So it's not something that has to be done, and it's acceptable for us to come together to procreate and not be married, because guess what? When it's all said and done, we still can live a good life without having to be married and raise this child.
Come on.
I know once upon a time I had never heard the term co-parenting. And now being co-parenting is just, co-parenting has become a common term that people are using, especially if they're not married, but they have children together. Let's co-parent. And in some instances, co-parenting works. But again, I had never heard that term before, especially back in the day. It wasn't something that was discussed. We're going to co-parent. It was just something that
you do what you have
to
do.
It's expected. But now that's the term, is co-parenting. And so that goes to show that when you talk about marriage not being practical, really,
it isn't.
It isn't, because it's not even necessary to raise children together. You don't have to be married. You can just co-parent. At the time when we got together, it worked out. It was great. But for whatever reason, something went wrong, probably some fuck shit. But anyway, something happened. But now we have this new life that we have to take care of. So now it's all about co-parenting.
It's not about us no
It's
more.
not about us anymore. It
product.
doesn't matter if we're married or not. That's not important. So marriage is not even important to even have a family anymore, because you still can have a family.
That's true. And do I think marriage is practical?
It depends. It depends on who you are.
It not only does it
and how
depend
you
on
were
who
raised.
you are. Right.
Honestly,
you think it has to do with how you
Absolutely.
I think so, because
Absolutely.
as open-minded as I am, and I consider myself to be very open-minded, all I know is growing up what I was taught. And a lot of times that goes through my head. When I think about the fact that here I am at this age, I've never been married, but yet I have this son, it still baffles me, because I've never been married. I'm like, okay, how did I even get to this point in my life, and I've never been married? That goes against everything that I was taught. And I've been in love multiple times. I've been in love, yet I'm not married.
But
and I feel like I should be. I actually feel like I should be married,
right.
and I want to be married. Mm-hmm. So, even though the logical part of me says that marriage is not necessary to be in a relationship, I think is the fact that I romanticize relationships so much that, based on how I was brought up, the nurturing,
mm-hmm.
I feel like I should be married. It's something that I ought to be married, because that's what a woman's supposed to do.
That's your function.
Yes. So there's a part of me is like, okay, I have my moments where I'm like, okay, Erica, you're not married. You don't even have, there's not even a person,
a significant
other where I can even hope to be married right now at this point in my life. But there's still a part of me is like, I want to be married though. I want to be a significant other. But that's just something that I want, and I'm an
That's
open-minded
a
person.
personal thing.
You know, but then there are moments where I'm like, hell, I'm glad I'm not married, because first of all, we would have to have a whole nother room just so I can have
Your alone time.
my alone time, because I don't want to spend every damn night with you. I don't want you in my bed.
Just on the couch. Oh my God, that would get on my nerves. I'm trying to say, I'm telling you, I'm
Y'all,
not taking
I wish y'all could
nothing
see her
away.
face. I wish
I'm
I
not
could see her
taking
face.
anything away from the people who are happily married, who are working hard to stay married. I'm not taking any, but I'm saying, even as a little kid, like the earliest that I can remember is maybe the age of 12, when I said, you know what, I don't want to be married. I don't want to be a mother. Those things just, like, personally, it was just something I thought about it. And it's so crazy because you would think I was too young to contemplate this.
Right.
But 12 years old, I was like, you know what? I don't want this. When I come home from work and I've been working all day, I don't want to see this dude, you know, on the couch, and I come, hey, babe, how was work? Shut up. What are you doing? Dude, do you need $40 to go to the strip club?
You know what?
I don't know the recipe.
You know what?
Oh
I have to
God.
put this here, because you're right in that. Because I can recall when me and the guy I was seeing was living together, I would leave work, and although we lived together, sometimes he would go to his place. Mm-hmm. And I remember a time when I would come home, and if I saw his vehicle in my driveway,
You would keep going.
I would keep driving.
You wouldn't even stop.
I would keep driving.
I totally understand your pain. I do.
There have been times
Oh my God.
I have driven like 30 minutes after working a 10-hour shift.
Just because you
I just keep driving because I'm like, damn.
when
hell,
this
is he
drive
there?
through and get a frosty.
No, let me go sit at Liz's Thick and have breakfast this morning.
You know what? And it's funny you say that. I have been in a similar situation. Okay, I've done the living thing or the shacking up or whatever y'all want to call it twice. Okay, never have I gone home and seen his car in the driveway, or when I get in there, he's on the couch, and I'm like, "Damn, you still here?" But look, and walked back out and kept going, or drove past. I'm the type. I'm gonna question you as soon as I walk. Hey.
What? You
How
not
was
going
work?
to work today?
How's
happening?
work? You gotta ease it in there. How was work?
Mm.
You know, but I've dealt with, a mate or a boyfriend who has lost his job, and I'm the only one going to work. That is hard.
It's difficult
Because you feel as if, damn, you ain't found no job yet?
Well, see, that's the thing, Charlie. Guess what? It wasn't that they didn't have a job.
No, I understand.
We were on
that.
different shifts.
I understand
I was
that.
just mad that I came
But
home and your
You
ass
was
was
still
there.
here. I can wait till you go to work. Then I'm gonna go home.
But wait a minute. This and again, this is why you have to have those important conversations. You have to ask important questions. Okay, because you have to know what you're able to deal with and what you're
True.
not. I know people that are married who do not live in the same dwelling.
Wow.
I know people who are
That's
married
wild.
who they meet, they have their rendezvous point, and that's it. They go back
I've
to their
seen
separate
that.
homes.
They be in separate
It
homes.
works for them.
It works very well.
It works for them because they know I do love his stanky ass drawers, but I can't live with him.
You can't live
I
with them
do
though.
love
I see you
her.
still got those stains in the back, but I can't.
Jesus.
Don't bring them
but-
to my house.
You know, stains in the
I'm
bag.
not even like
But
you. Like that.
do I think marriage
Oh my
is practical?
God.
I
don't think so.
But wait a
I
minute.
disagree.
I personally think it depends on the day and the time that you ask me. If you ask me now, I'm going to tell you
No.
yes.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you yes.
Okay.
Because I look at marriage as a business transaction.
Absolutely.
Okay? So, to me, yes, marriage is about give and take, but you have to look at marriage now versus marriage 50 years ago. Or
Yeah,
marriage
it's
20 years
real
ago.
different.
It not only is it different, people are different.
Women didn't have rights.
Expectations
Women of
are
color
different.
didn't have anything.
Men
Yeah.
are different.
I agree.
Women are
Different.
different.
It's different. The
Children
situation is
are
different.
different. So and times are different. So I do think that marriage is practical if it works for you and your situation and your needs and your
Absolutely.
wants. However,
Absolutely.
me personally,
Comma.
okay, At this point in my life, I'm of a certain age. I do not have children. I do not even know if I want to have children. Now, this is a question I probably should have been asking myself several years ago. But I put my career before I put maturing. So it is what it is. So I think that now I am comfortable being someone's significant other with protections, like we discussed earlier. If we have been together for 2, 3, 4 years and I don't know your social security number, there's a problem. I'm going to tell you, if you date me, I know your social security number by month 2. Okay? I know it by heart like it's mine. I've done the credit check, the background check. I've done all of that on date number 2. But that's me.
Not date number 2.
Absolutely.
That's number 2.
Absolutely. Because I don't waste my time.
I guess it goes
Charlie.
If you are dating with a purpose.
Dating with a purpose. Not only that,
different.
you still
I'm
have
dating
to
with
know-
the purpose to get you naked.
But
I don't
see-
care nothing about your
Okay,
social security.
anyway, go ahead, Charlie.
What?
Let's leave
What
Kay
are you
alone
talking
right
about?
now.
You also have to know who
Oh
you're
my
dealing
God.
with, because if you don't check that credit, if you don't check that background check, you could be dealing with a plum fool. You could be dealing with
put
a
yourself
child
in a-
molester, right? A
Put
serial
yourself
killer.
in a terrible situation.
You know,
financially.
somebody who is just out here willy nilly. No,
Willy-nilly.
I need to know who I'm
Look,
dealing
we
with.
get married and your damn debt becomes my
My
debt.
debt.
And look at here, I'm gonna be pissed off because you don't know how hard I've worked
To get your
myself
credit
out
together.
of debt. to get
I
my
know
credit
that's
together.
right.
So
I know that's right.
my thing
Phoenix.
is this. We either gonna have one or two things. Either we're gonna be married without the hoopla, without the reception, the wedding ceremony. I don't need that. I don't need
all that.
I don't need to
Don't
spend
need that.
thousands of dollars for
What?
other people.
I'm just asking.
You think I'm gonna spend thousands of dollars for
I'm not
a
doing
damn
that.
wedding and a
to invite
reception?
people to
And,
party with me? Absolutely
No.
not for 20 minutes. Listen,
I don't even do that on my birthday, so I'm
Wait
sure
a
I'm
minute.
not going to do it on my
I've
wedding.
planned weddings in the past. The wedding ceremony literally lasts 20 minutes tops.
That is true.
Y'all spend so much money on dresses, on
pissed off
flowers,
about-
on
I ain't pay a whole
shoes,
lot
on
for
hair, on makeup.
My dress and my hair and my
Come on.
shoes, I spent less than $300 and I was pissed off
Come on,
because
listen.
the ceremony lasts probably like 15 minutes.
See, that's what I'm saying.
so I was pissed off.
I did all of this for this one.
but
I'm
here's the
gonna
thing.
stand up here for 30 more minutes at least, so y'all can look at me.
So for me personally, for Charlie personally, we're either going to be married and it's legal and it's recognized in the eyes of the law, or we're going to protect me and we're going to have some legal protections in place that says Charlie is my power of attorney. Charlie is my beneficiary on all of my paperwork, my life insurance, my bank account, whatever. Charlie is listed on the deed to the house that we share. Charlie is a signer on this account. Charlie can access all of my information. I know your credit card number by heart like it's mine, so I can do my online shopping.
Where my name
You know what I'm
is,
saying?
so shall Charlie's be. That's how it should be.
But here's the thing. This is where y'all mess up, okay? And I'm talking to you. This is where y'all mess up.
Listen, sis.
You date these men for so many years, right? And then these men die. Ooh. When these men die, now you got to go deal with his bald ass head mama. Okay? And you got, I
or
call
the
his
wife
mama.
he didn't tell you about.
Okay, look,
Or the other baby mama.
wait a minute, the other baby mama or the oldest child.
Oh,
or
the oldest child.
Whoever's the next of kin, because the law says whoever the next of kin is, if you are not married, they're responsible for everything. Okay? So what happens is you leave this woman out here who has been with you and has loved your stink ass draws for X amount of years, and you didn't protect
She
her.
didn't really like him that much.
Here's the thing. You know the song say if you love it or you like it, you should have put a ring on it. I'ma change that. If you like it and you love it, you need to put my name on it.
Hello.
Put
'Cause I-
my
look here.
name
I've
on
seen
it.
it happen. I will not call a name, but I know a lady who basically was with this man for over 20 years.
Oh my God.
He had been in the military. And, yes, he
Track here for life.
Look, he had been in the military, retired from the military, and he had left his wife way before they got together. So
Were they divorced?
But he never divorced his wife.
Oh God.
This woman had taken care of this man. This man had a trach in his. He had a trach. What is it? A trachea? Whatever it was.
A trach.
He had the trach in his throat. She took care of this man. She shuffled him back and forth to the VA. they lived in a house together, but the house was under Section 8 that she had. But he had purchased cars for both him and her. And when he passed, now take note, I said they had been together for over 20 years. He passed. Now all these years, the wife never stepped forward, never said a word.
What?
But when he
She
passed,
was just waiting for him to die.
but when he passed, baby, the wife came and took possession
Everything.
each of the cars, the bank accounts. Look,
The home.
hold that account. You cannot go to the bank and draw anything out of this account.
See, this
and
is
guess
what
what?
I'm saying.
You up in the vestibule
Come on, man.
Not
at
in
the
the
funeral.
vestibule.
At the vestibule.
You couldn't even be in the sanctuary for the
Man,
funeral.
look, listen.
And I remember sitting there thinking, because I went to the funeral, and I remember sitting there thinking, and guess what? I was in the doggone sanctuary, but you in the vestibule, or whatever
Absolutely
you call it,
not.
watching the
Absolutely
funeral.
not.
And I was sitting there thinking, now, you know what? This is some shit right here. Because for one thing, I had been around seeing you take care of this man, and the wife sat there all those years. Guess what? Did not even utter a word while he lived with this woman who took care of his
Listen.
sick ass.
What on his deathbed? The wife ain't even help.
Guess what? But the wife benefited.
but
She
but
came
that's
and
the
guess
thing.
what? She took all the damn pot of gold and was gone.
But-
She didn't even argue with the other woman.
See, that's
Wasn't
a-
even an argument.
But there's no argument to be
Nope.
had. At this point, I am legally.
Look, you played yourself, sis. You played
Basically,
yourself. Okay,
it is my
so-
legal. These
Yeah.
things are mine. These are my things.
Thank you. And then and there, I was like, now this is some shit. You didn't even protect yourself. You had no protection in place. She had just gotten a brand new car. This brand new car this man I bought for you, guess what? His wife bringing her cousin or whomever.
Whoever, her
Dri-
boo,
Look
her
at
new boo.
driving the car out of your yard.
Listen, y'all. This is
Listen, look here, protect yourself, sis.
Please.
Protect yourself.
Please.
Don't
Protect,
let-
but you know what?
It's not about you winning. Now I'm doing air quotes when I say winning. That you're winning. You got the man with you. He's coming home to you, or he's living with you. Guess what? That means
But that doesn't
nothing.
mean anything. It's marriage was. I think it was an institution like you guys are talking about right now. Like we're talking, marriage was created to protect both parties. I know we're talking about the female side of it because we female.
Well, that's
but
just
if you live with a lady, she make more money than you, which is very understandable right now because women are winning right now in the they making more money, they're more educated, and she dies first. The whole scenario could be switched over saying, hey, so she has, a child by a previous boyfriend. She has a bald-headed ass mama who ain't shit. And thank you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So where are you protected? Why are you secure? And I think the institution of marriage itself was created specifically for that reason by men for the legal aspects and the business.
I see what you're saying, but you also bring up another point.
But go ahead.
If you have a child by this man, you better have some life insurance on him, especially when you're out in these streets. You better have some life insurance. And listen,
Especially he laying up in your
Listen.
damn house and you don't have his social security number.
let me
your
go
damn
ahead
license.
and put y'all up on game, okay? You can buy a life insurance policy and pay for it yourself. Pay the premiums every month yourself. You have his social security number, you have his name, you have his address, okay? There's life insurance policies that you can get that do not require him to be tested, nor for him to be notified, okay? Listen to me now. Get you a good term life insurance policy. Term basically means that the premium never increases. It stays the same, but you cannot take out a loan on said life insurance policy, okay? Continue, because I'm going to go ahead and lay the game down for you. You make sure that you pay that premium every month. Don't miss it.
Don't miss it.
Pay it every month, and when his ass kicks the bucket, Your cash.
Hopefully he kicks it first,
and your
honey.
child are straight. But even if you go first, you make sure that your child is listed as the secondary beneficiary.
Absolutely.
Wait a minute, and if necessary, you might need to have a tertiary beneficiary set on said papers.
Hello.
Listen, I'm trying to tell y'all, it makes absolutely no sense, no excuse now as to why you sitting out here and you got your mouth poked out because you can only collect that $250 from the Social Security Administration. Listen to me when I say, make sure that you protect yourself and your children. You think I was laid up with this man for 3 years and I don't know his social and there was no life insurance and I wasn't on them credit cards and on that deed? Girl, please. Anyway.
And not only that, this, you know what, I'm glad you talked about that, because when you talk about a pathway to wealth, that's what white people have been doing since the beginning of time. That has always been a pathway to wealth. You always want to have insurance. You always want to have life insurance. And that's where we fall short, because even when we die in the black community, what happens? Everybody is trying to get together and put together money to pay for a funeral. There's no life insurance. And really, guess what? You can get different policies where you pay for this funeral and you have X amount of dollars left over that you can do something with. And when you talk about pathways to wealth, I'm telling you, our other humans have been doing this for a very long time when it comes down to insurance. And if y'all don't believe me, go and do some research. But that's always been part of a pathway to wealth and building wealth for your family and even for your children. So definitely make certain you're covered.
But to that, I'm going to also say life insurance policies are not as expensive as everybody thinks they are. You can add those onto your car insurance. You can add them onto your renter's insurance, your homeowner's insurance. There's absolutely no excuse as to why. And listen, if you have a job and you have a life insurance policy that your employer pays on your behalf, that's good. But what happens when you you get fired from that job and you quit that job? You need to have a third party insurance policy.
Not attached to your employment.
A third party life insurance policy.
But even so, there are some employers you have, when you do your exit interview, your exit paperwork, you can transfer those policies to your private.
That's true.
But they tend to cost a whole lot more.
But still, it's still something you can transfer.
That's true.
Because for one thing, I know for me to get extra life insurance, let me talk low because I want this child to think he can take me out and get all this money. But you know, it's Prudential said that, you know, I had to go through a waiting period before they decided to give me this extra coverage. You know, so that's my coverage. That's on me personally. That's not about my employer saying I'm gonna cover you. My employer give me X amount of coverage, but give me the option of doing supplemental coverage as well. But the supplemental coverage, depending on who you go with, they may tell you have to go through
you might have to have a physical,
a health assessment. They want to see your health records before they decide to give you, especially depending on how much you're asking for. And I have learned through my other humans to ask for a lot more money.
Absolutely.
As far as coverage, because I can tell you right now, if I am not here, guess what? My child is good. It is good because that's the kind of coverage I've gotten. But I had to sit there and wait for a month while they got all my paperwork. They got all my doctors, all my medical records, and they had to make an assessment and make a decision on whether or not they would give me
for the additional coverage.
Get this additional coverage. But guess what? I was good with that. I waited the month.
Absolutely.
Because I knew when it comes down to my health records, guess what? I'm good. I'm good. And that's something that we all should be looking at. Again, when I say a lot of times our other humans, if y'all are catching on to what I'm saying, these other humans, H-U-E. So if you're not getting it, go and Google H-U-E.
Google it.
Humans. Okay, they are different hues, okay, than us. But you know, make certain that you are covering your family. And if you get insurance and you get a little bit money back from, heaven forbid, the passing of a loved one, don't take that money and go buying cars and
all kind of food stuff. Pay the mortgage off.
Say it, Kate.
Pay the mortgage off. You know what I'm saying? Pay the car loans. If anybody if the deceased, your mother, I'm telling you, I got a mama. She is a woman of a certain age. So if something happens to her, that's my plan. I'm going to pay the mortgage off. I'm going to pay the car loan off. I'm going to pay for the funeral. After that, whatever's left, I mean, I work a job. I'm full by, I'm able to work. It's not like there's something wrong with me.
Whatever I have left over nest egg,
I might put it in the savings account to let it draw interest.
Absolutely.
I'll put it in the IRA to let it draw interest.
Start my own business,
stocks,
something.
bonds, something where it's drawing interest, and then whatever's left, the even if I have to pay a real estate tax or property tax on whatever, my job is going to allow me to pay that, but I don't have to pay rent. I don't have a mortgage to pay. I don't have a car payment to pay.
And once you
leave, I can save that money.
And once you leave, that's something you can deed over to a child.
It grows equity.
Exactly.
It has equities.
And we have to start looking at things like that. We have to look at it that way as a business and how we can secure the bag for future generations.
But you know what? And you bring up a very valid point on what it is we do when we get these life insurance checks. Okay? Let me go ahead and let y'all know what I'm not okay with. See, I had to drop my voice a couple octaves. I'm not okay with you having these big showy funerals. Okay,
it doesn't impress anybody.
But here's the thing: funerals are for the living.
They're not for the dead.
Funerals are not for the dead. So let me go ahead and put you up on game yet again. You don't have to spend more than $1,000 to bury your loved one. Okay.
Well, I don't know. Now cremation is about $3,500.
Let me get there because I ain't even talking about cremation. There are look up the laws in your state. Okay. Certain states say that you do not have to be embalmed, all right? There are cemeteries that are dedicated to fertilizing trees and other plants with your deceased loved one's remains, okay? So what happens in the state that we live in,
apple tree
for $800
I want to be put
flat
on regular trees,
dollars.
not regular trees.
I don't want no fruit that's been fertilized from a dead person. Okay,
You don't want the fruit of that tree.
Listen, for $800 flat,
fruit fertilized from dead people.
I understand,
If it's a little
but I just don't want to go to the cemetery.
You just don't want to know it.
No,
Let me get this apple off of
Exactly.
here. That's Erica right there.
So for $800,
that Erica apple.
Exactly.
for $800 flat, let me tell you what you get. All right, in the state that we live in, they will pick up your deceased's body from wherever. Okay, they will prepare your deceased body. They will put you in a biodegradable box. You will have a plot that you're able to pick out. They will bury your loved one. They will plant a tree instead of a headstone for said loved one. Okay, you can put a marker, but of course that's going to be extra. And when your loved one's body breaks down and decomposes, they then fertilize said tree. That is $800. You don't have to go out and spend $20,000
But
or $10,000.
but this is
Wait. You don't have to do the cremation and
All the
renting
extras.
the casket and doing all these sprays and all this extracurricular shit. Listen. My mama said, I talked to my parents, what do you want? My mama said, you know what a life insurance policy is. You know how much I have. You do what you will. My father said, look, my only request is that you don't have nobody lying over me. Now that's a conversation for another episode. But still,
not lying over. Oh my God.
So I think that we need to be mindful about what the living has to do. Okay. Also understand that you are not required to pay the deceased's bills when they go. Listen to me, y'all.
They dead.
I worked in insurance before. Let
They
me tell you
not
how
here.
this shit go. I've helped people when it comes to estate planning. Let me tell you how it go. You are not responsible as the wife, as the son, as the whatever.
The
of
first
deceased.
cousin, second
You're not
niece.
responsible to pay these bills because these bills don't belong to you. Okay? Now there's certain things, stuff going into probate and all of this extracurricular. You need to find out what the laws are for your state. But that's what happens when you prepare. When you're proactive instead of reactive. Okay? Now let me go ahead and let y'all know something else I'm not keen on. Y'all know how everybody's staying in Big Mama house right now, right? And Big Mama been gone for 50 years, okay? But y'all trying to figure out how the bank ain't come and foreclose on Big Mama house yet when Big Mama been gone. That's because the bank, as long as y'all paying the money, the bank don't give a damn.
They don't care who pay the
Big
money.
Mama house.
Exactly.
Okay, but wait a minute. But listen, this is where we mess up. We skip a payment. We skip 2 payments. We skip 3 and the house going to foreclosure.
You can't even call the people and do no arrangements. You can't do because Big Mama name's still on it.
That's money wasted. So what you need to be trying to do is make sure that you got your name or some paperwork situated that says when Big Mama go and she
It's
want
legally.
Charli to have a house, you need to make sure that your name is on that paperwork. Listen, I had a family member whose husband passed away. Her name was not on the deed to his house. Or to their house, I should say, because he bought it prior to them meeting or them getting married. His cars, her name was on nothing. Do you know she had to buy this house from the mortgage company?
Take out a second loan on a mortgage that she had already paid for 15 years.
Because she was smart initially with her money and she used one of those life insurance policies. She's turned over a policy so that she can get the house in her name. All right. Now, granted, she got a nice house at a cheaper rate because her husband died. But you have to make sure that, again, and this is the whole purpose of this conversation, is to make sure that you have protections in place so that you don't become homeless. What if she didn't have the money? What if he didn't have double and triple indemnity insurance, to show if he got hurt on the job, that they would actually make sure that they tripled and doubled that insurance policy. So you have to make sure that you have these protections in place. But you also, again, don't ball out of control at the funerals, and GoFundMe is not an insurance.
Hello,
policy.
say that one more time. Say a word,
Please.
Charli. Hold on.
Deep in the bag because
GoFundMe is not an insurance policy. If anybody send me one more goddamn link
Hello.
that says we need you, or don't ask me to cash app you $5, $15, $20, $35 because you need to bury Lil JJ. What I'm not gonna do, okay, is contribute to Lil JJ's fund.
Negative.
Nor will I reshare or repost this GoFundMe link to help y'all get Lil JJ's ass buried. Y'all should have been prepared, and you should have made sure that you had adequate funds to bury Lil JJ, or you take the cheaper route. And as long as you get him in the ground, everything all right.
And y'all, please listen to what she just finished saying, because
That's real.
This
It's
is
real.
so ridiculous.
It's out of hand.
It's really out of control. And to have coverage, it does not cost a lot
It's
of
not
money
expensive.
at all.
Not
So it
only
doesn't
that,
make any kind of sense for you to be all on social media.
Trying to raise money
don't
when
put
you
that
could have just
burden
had a
on your
regular,
family. Listen, it's already hard enough that they have to deal with your
not
passing.
grieving.
Okay,
The grief.
it's hard enough that they have to deal, and you have certain people that when death occurs, you have people that can immediately kick into business mode, and that's me. I'm gonna grieve later, but I'm gonna kick into business mode. You don't always have one of the people on your team,
Hello.
so they're running around trying to figure, oh Lord, who I'm gonna get? I gotta make all these calls.
We got to
all
go
the
play,
family.
shoot dice, and
You know
play
what I'm
bingo to have you a pretty decent funeral.
See, that's what I'm saying.
But
That's
it's
too
we're not
much.
doing that. It's a
I done
blessing
did.
you
My
have on your
mama.
family.
I'm trying to tell you,
And
my
let me
mama
tell
done
you,
did that for one of my uncles. I'm
I got
telling
an aunt
you.
that she's that person. She kicks in. She goes into business mode when it comes to stuff like that.
You have to.
And we're thankful for that. But every family does not have that.
No.
So that's something to think about. So again, when in all of this that we've been talking about relationships and marriage being practical, and when we talk about marriage being practical, and Charli talking about and discussing, how to protect yourself in relationships, not just being married, but if you're not going to be married, make certain that you are protecting yourself.
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing worse than you being stuck with the bag instead of you securing the bag.
Don't be out here assed out without a bag. How about that?
Absolutely.
I mean, just, and like Phoenix was saying about, making sure that you get a life insurance policy that is more than what your family is going to need to take care of what they need to take care of. Like Kay said, make sure that you pay off the mortgage. Listen, the mortgage companies don't give $2 about who paid a mortgage as long as they get their money. The car insurance company, whoever the finance company is, they just want their money. They really don't care. You're not going to get a flower. You're not going to get a condolence, no nothing from them.
You sorry for your loss, none of that shit.
They just want their money. Play with these people if you want to, and y'all
they try to
homeless riding the bus.
They try to get you to keep the account open even after the user has died.
So my thing is
this. They don't care.
If you are one that has to have the funeral, right? If you are one that has to have the $20,000 funeral, cool. But you make sure that you put protections in place to where your family...
After you pay that $20,000 funeral, you still can pay the mortgage. You still can
and pay the house off.
A $100,000 policy is not expensive at all.
No, it's not.
A $200,000 policy.
It's not.
I'm telling you, if you go look, you might find rates as low as $55 a month.
Even less than that
in some cases.
Exactly.
Because I know this extra one that I have is way less than that.
But see, that's what I'm saying. You also have to look at what's built into your policy.
Absolutely.
Okay? You've got so many different terminologies or so many types of policies when it comes to life insurance. You make sure that you have the best one that works for you and your family. But as Phoenix was saying, and Kate was saying, pay the mortgage off, invest, open a business, stocks and bonds, high interest savings account, IRAs,
CDs, money market accounts.
Right, 529, accounts for the kids who need to go to college.
Exactly. Pay that $5,000, let them go to school.
But you know what's more important? Before you do all of that, you pay your electricity bill up. Okay? Pay your electricity bill up for a few months. You pay your rent or your mortgage up.
Pay your car insurance up
for the year.
So you don't have to worry about it.
Make sure that you pay your own life insurance policy up
exactly
for the year.
Yep.
Okay.
Because all that other stuff, you can make monthly payments if you working a job.
That's what I'm saying.
You're doing.
Put this money up. Stop being reckless with the money.
Stop being reckless.
When you're reckless with the money and you fail to plan, some shit is bound to happen.
I agree.
You fail to plan, then you plan to fail.
Come on.
That's what it boils down to.
That's the truth, Phoenix.
And we've been doing that. Around looking crazy. And let me tell you something. Black folk, we got to get our shit together. Quickly. Because everybody wants to be us. But we need to be like others at some point when it comes to finances. That's just some real shit. We need to be able to look at the Asians and look at the Hispanics when it comes to real group economics instead of being out here scamming everybody and scamming each other and have this crab in a barrel or that bitch too good or I ain't messing with this dude
or just afraid to trust each other because we do not trust one another.
But that is not. But I'm telling you, that is not an accident. That is by design, and that goes a little bit deeper than.
It may be by design, but in this day and age, we are intelligent enough to know that. So that is no longer an excuse.
I don't trust nobody. I trust y'all. I trust my family, but I don't trust nobody.
It's by design. We realize it is by design, but guess what? You can always put things in place to protect yourself. That's what contracts are for. Yeah. So even, and I won't call any names, and some things that we're involved in as a group, we already know that, you know what? If we need to protect ourselves, there are certain things that we are looking for in our investments.
Yeah.
Look, it has to look a certain way.
Absolutely.
It has to behave a certain way before we get involved in it. Because we know this.
Yeah.
There are people in our group, in our racial group, that we know, you know what? Your shit is not on the up and up, and so therefore
we're not participating.
And if we do participate, we're gonna put things in place in a contract that protects us because we know better. we know better. We have learned. We've done the research.
Absolutely.
And now we know what to look for. We can identify when something is a scam. We listen to certain things and we're like, no,
They don't sound right.
they don't sound right. We're not going to be a part of that. Thank you for reaching out to us. But no, we're going to, we'll
Do
pass
something
on
else.
this,
Yeah,
you
we're
know?
doing that.
So, and that's what all of us have to do as a group. Even when we talk about group economics, which that is another discussion for another time, so I won't get into that. But don't just fall for something because it sounds good. If you haven't done your research, then you know what?
It ain't
Excuse
good.
yourself from the table and say, I'll come back.
Until I can do my research.
Yeah, exactly. And so that goes for even our relationships. Let me find out. Do I know anybody that knows you? Just like our friend request. If I see that you sent me a friend request and we don't have no one in common,
I'm not accepting it.
Nah,
I don't
delete.
accept it. I don't.
look here, delete.
I don't.
Block, delete. So, I mean, we have to become more diligent in how we conduct our business.
But then now, and I do that too. I'm not saying I don't follow that the guidelines. That's one of my guidelines. But you keep doing that, right? You keep blocking and deleting people. You keep blocking and deleting people because it doesn't look right. Not to say that it's not valid, but then at the end of the day, after you weeded out all the con men, all the con artists, all the people that's just trying to take advantage and get your money and run out, then you go back and the business is closed and you have nothing to show for it, what do you really have left? When I am genuinely and sincerity, and again, I know we're talking like we started talking about our financial contracts and stuff, but even in a relationship, I did my vetting, I did my research. Right? I didn't find anything that looked suspicious to me or, whatever. And I say, okay, this looked like a good bet, right? So I bet my money here and I'm in the race with you, and then it still ends up being
I have your answer. You know what you end up with? A lesson.
Oh, fuck that shit.
End up with a lesson.
I end up with a charge.
No,
I don't know.
not just that. You've said several times, I. Then guess what? Reach out to someone you trust and say, hey, this person is reaching out to me. Maybe I'm going to use you to vet them as well. See, that's one thing I say with Christians, and I know this is a whole different conversation, but guess what? The Bible tells you to seek counsel on your decision. So
everybody was not blessed with discernment.
Exactly. Now, if you have vetted this person out and you still a little shaky on it, then guess what? Reach out for counsel. Say, hey, the Bible tells you to reach out to 2 or 3 counsels.
But if the 3 counsels come back and say they good,
then guess what? Then we all have to learn a lesson. Because we all miss something.
But
that doesn't mean all 4 of us have to get injured.
But wait a minute.
What is that?
You can't always win in life, okay?
Well, that's true.
not-
I agree with that. I subscribe to that.
those are lessons.
Everybody can't be a winner
But
all
here's
the time.
thing. Lessons make you better, right? In every situation, there is a lesson. In every situation, there's a lesson. Okay? So we have to first recognize our part in the lesson, right? We have to understand what it is we did in order to get ourselves here, right? But if you don't learn from the lesson,
Well, hell, I'll tell you one thing.
What if you learned the wrong lesson though?
But then guess
There's
what?
a lot of people that
There's
they
no-
learned the lesson, but the
There's
lesson
no
has
such
not.
thing as you learned the
But
wrong
some people
lesson.
have learned
You learned a
lessons.
lesson, and guess what?
But
You
it
have
has
to go
not
through-
left them open to progress or growth.
There's
I
always
don't.
growth in a lesson.
I don't know.
There's no
I don't.
such
I
thing
don't
as-
know. I don't know.
there's
I can't
always-
agree with that.
There's always
I
growth
cannot
in a
agree
lesson.
with that. I have a friend right now.
Then it's not a lesson.
I have a friend.
A lesson brings about growth. If a
It brought
lesson-
about growth, but all growth is not. That's just like having cancer. Just because cancer is a growth, but it's not a good growth. But it's still
but guess
growth.
what? But that's not the same thing.
It is the
When you
same.
no, it's not. You talking
It
about
is when
lessons.
you're talking about. We're talking about
lessons.
relationships.
We're talking
and
about
and
lessons.
the
You said
lessons that we
lessons.
learn from it.
You said lessons. So when it comes down to lessons, not diseases or tumors. We're talking about a lesson. I don't care how small the lesson is, how great the lesson is.
Sound like a tumor to me.
No, a lesson is a lesson. I cannot even akin a lesson to a tumor. A tumor takes from you and it depletes from you. A lesson does not do that. A lessons add to you. The lesson may be painful. It may not be comfortable, but it's still a lesson nonetheless. So you go through a thing and you learn from it. That's what lessons are for. It's something for you learn from a lesson. So the lesson may not have taken care of the entire issue that you've gone through, but it's still, I've learned from this.
I've learned not to trust women.
It could be.
I've learned that all women ain't shit. I've learned that, you know, but again, we're talking about lessons as they pertain to progress and growth. You can have growth, you can have profit, and you can have loss. All of that is reported on the income sheet. The lessons are the same. You can have lessons that promote growth. You can have lessons that actually provide setbacks. But it's still a lesson. Exactly.
It's still a lesson. And it still provides growth, and it still provides opportunities. When you look at it, it does not matter. If I learned a lesson from a situation I put myself into, even if I failed.
I don't think it's that people don't learn from their lessons. And again, I'm talking specifically for relationships. But sometimes people don't want to take responsibility and accountability.
That's their choice.
And not to say that the other person didn't do something that was jacked up. Not to say the other person, it was the other person's, technically, it was the other person who ruined the relationship. They cheated, they lied. You were doing what you were supposed to do. However, at the same time,
want to listen to the rest of the conversation? Click on episode 3.5 titled Hella Randomness with Charli, K, and Phoenix.